Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in the new title update for the StoryTale, going for the 10 Hearts achievement. Now, if you have played the game up to this point, including all of the title updates, you are going to end up finishing the game at the start of Chapter 61. Now, during this run, you may or may not have picked up these things called hearts. They're going to be the game's optional collectible. There's going to be one per level, and they are either usually hidden or they're going to be behind some bonus gate that you have to go through. Once you pick up 10 in total, you should be good for the achievement. It's going to be for 200 gamer score. That being said, if you have gone to Chapter 61 and still don't have the achievement, I am going to recommend that you just start up a new game. The reason for that is it's going to be way easier to pick up the first 10 hearts in the game rather than trying to go for them in the late game. Do keep in mind the game is only going to have 70 chapters, so if you are too late into the game and you still don't have enough hearts, you are going to have to restart anyways. So just make sure you keep that in mind. Once you get the rest of the achievements in the game, it's probably going to be best to just start over to knock out this last one. So that being said, as you can see right here, the Chapter 1 heart's going to be right here, right before the exit. Very easy, out in the open. Make sure you pick it up, and then make sure you cross the finish line. Whenever you do pick up a heart, in order for it to count towards the achievement, you are going to have to finish whatever level you are on. So make sure you try to also play the level. Moving on to Chapter 2, this is going to be the first level that you're going to have to do the normal gameplay mechanic of finding the keys to open up the chest to get the next key to open up the next chest, and keep going until you have the key that opens up the finish line. So make sure you get through that intro bit right here, and then the heart is going to be at the end of the level behind this enemy right here. So make sure you jump past him, and then once you do, make sure you grab the heart, and then make sure you wrap up the level. Right after Chapter 2, you're going to have your first in-between level. These in-between levels are also going to have hearts. So this first one's going to be between Chapters 2 and 3. You're going to be playing in your giant form right here. Just make sure you tank your way through the level, so just keep heading to the right. Heart's going to be right here out in the open, can't miss it. Use your giant jump to knock it loose, and then once it falls down, make sure you grab it, grab the green key, and then just take this all the way back to the left, and then make sure you step through the finish line to get back to your regular chapters. Moving on to Chapter 3. This is going to be the first chapter where the heart is going to be behind a bonus gate, but before we get to it, we are going to have to play the level. So make sure you do the NPC quest where you grab the crossbow and then bring it back to the NPC. They're going to exchange it for the red key. Make sure you take the red key forward. We're going to open up the red chest, which is going to give us the blue key. Then we're going to use that on the blue chest, and that should give us the green key. Once we have the green key, however, instead of stepping through the finish line in order to wrap up the level, we're actually going to go to where the bonus gate would take us back from, which is going to be right over here. So to get there, you are going to need to wall jump over the finish line and then drop down and then grab the collectible right here. Then just jump over the enemies to the right and then take the bonus gate back, and that should take you to the finish line. Wrap that up and then get to the next in-between level. For this one, you want to make sure you head on to the right. You're going to want to keep pushing forward. Red key is going to be right here. Make sure you take the lift up to grab it. Once you have that, we're going to backtrack to where the red chest is, so make sure you do that. Take this lift up, and then once you are here, you're going to want to open up this chest to grab the blue key. Once you have the blue key, we're going to head back to the right, and then we're going to take the bottom path, which is going to take us to the blue chest. Grab the green key. Once you have that, instead of stepping through the finish line right here, we're going to backtrack, and then we're going to go right here, and then we're going to take the lift up, and then we should actually be able to wall jump up here and then head to the upper left of the level. Take a sharp right, and then you can find the heart right here, and then once we have it, we are able to finish up the level as we normally would. So moving on to Chapter 4, this one's going to be a very straightforward level. With that being said, because it's so straightforward, make sure you do not forget to grab the heart. I'm going to recommend you grab it after you get the green key. So just move forward and make sure you do your normal key swaps as you would. The level is going to be very linear, so it's going to be very hard to miss. But once you get to the finish line, remember to backtrack. You're going to want to go to where you found the red key, and you could actually wall jump up to the right side of it and then get over to the top of the level, and then you should find the heart right directly above this enemy. So make sure you grab that, and then feel free to finish the level so this one can count. Moving on to chapter 5, we're going to start out by doing the little key puzzle right here in the middle of the level. So start out by grabbing the blue key, and then make sure you use that to open up the right chest. If you guess wrong, just make sure you go back and then grab the other blue key, and then make sure you reverse your fortunes. Once you get that taken care of, you're going to do the same thing with the red chest. Hopefully you can pull the right one. 50-50 chance right here. Once you manage to solve this, you're going to then grab the green key, and instead of finishing the level, we are actually going to head all the way back to the start. So make sure you go as far to the left as possible. You should be able to wall jump straight up the opening wall, and then through a little crevice is going to be a pathway, and then at the end of it, it's going to be the heart. So make sure you bounce up here, and then hopefully you can squeeze through without dealing with the enemies. But grab the heart, and then we're going to punch it straight to the end of the level. So moving on to chapter 6, we're going to start out by making our way forward right here. We're going to try to watch out for these enemies. Make sure you skip that chest for now, as we need the key first. Once you notice this L-shaped block right here, you should find the heart on top of it. Once you grab that, we're just going to beat the level. So you do that by heading on over here. This NPC is going to give you a side quest to go look for their spear. You can find it right here in this corner. Once you have it, make sure you take it back to them, and you should exchange it for the red key. Once you have the key, you can start opening up the chest, so make sure you head back to the right to open up the red chest. That should give you the blue key. Go back to the left to open up the blue chest, and that should give you the green key. Once you have that, make sure you beat the level. Pretty typical stuff. You should be very familiar at this point, so just make sure you do that, and we should be good for another heart and another level. All right, moving on to chapter 7. This one has us going back underground. We're going to start off by zipping around at this little maze right here. So just make sure you keep following this way, and then eventually that should take you into the cave right here. Once you are out here, hit up the first checkpoint. Your first key is going to be directly above you, so make sure you bounce up there, grab the red key, and then continue to push to the right. Make sure you hit up the checkpoints along the way. The enemies are going to be annoying, as they are going to be shooting arrows at you, so make sure you mind your head. But make sure you take a dip down here, hit up this checkpoint, and then you can find the red chest directly beyond this wall. Make sure you wait for a clearing in enemy fire, and then just make your way over, and then through the cracks. Watch out for the spear guy, of course. Slide into here and make sure you grab the blue key out of the chest, and then make sure you hit up this checkpoint. Use the blue key to open up this last chest to grab the green key, then quickly turn around, back up to the checkpoint, jump up here into this alleyway of enemies, grab the heart, quickly jump back, or you can die and respawn. But once you have both the green key and the heart, feel free to push forward and then get to the end of the level. Once you start up the next level, we should be in Chapter 8. This is going to be where we should find our 10th and final heart, which is going to be the most annoying heart to get. You're going to start out by wall jumping up from the start to the left. Once you get up here, you're going to have to do a bunch of enemy dodging, but if you can get over the wraiths and the spear guys, you should find the heart right here. Once you have it, just drop down to the right and keep pushing forward. We're going to have to do the NPC quest, of course, so make sure you keep moving to the right until you find the bow. So it's going to be right over here, right above the red chest. Grab that, then backtrack all the way to the beginning, taking the lower path, of course. Once you trade the bow for the red key, you're going to take it back to the red chest, so that's going to involve another backtrack. And as you can see, once you open up the chest, you're going to get the blue key, and the blue chest is going to be back where the NPC is. So lots of running back and forth between these very annoying enemies, because great level design. Remember not to get too discouraged, though, because again, this is going to be the last heart we need. We just need to make sure we beat the level in order for it to cash in. So just make sure you persevere through this, make it to that finish line, and once you cross over, this should be the 10th and final heart, which should get us the achievement, given that we did start a new game. So once you do cross that finish line, you should be good for the achievement. There it is. It's going to be for 200 gamer score. And that's all there is to it.